Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, April 29th, and we just got to the studio. This morning, we are working on an Ableton Live DJ project where we've basically loaded tracks into Ableton and we are learning about the live aspect of Ableton Live. This is really exciting stuff for me because much like the keys classes, learning how to use Ableton Live is going to be huge level ups for my own live show. I'm absolutely blown away that literally everything I've been learning the past month or so has been like an extra 20 to 30% of the knowledge that I knew I needed or I had wondered about. Literally everything in the lessons is exactly that. It's actually been, it's insane. I think the word to describe that is synchronicity. It's so crazy how it's all coming together. The DJ set itself is quite basic. It's just basically doing your own DJ effects using Ableton stock effects and then blending two tracks together the best you can using EQ control, filter control, etc. So from that aspect, it's quite basic, but actually learning the ins and outs of how to utilize the live section of Ableton, that is some very, very juicy knowledge. Of course, it's Thursday, so it's the back half of this vlog week, level 3, unit 4. Also, Thursdays is our mentor session day, and as I've said before, we are with Carrie Leva, and that's at noon, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just so excited about the future. I'm so excited where my music's going. I mean, did you see that Whip Wednesday track? Darude Sandstorm Melodic Techno Remix? If you haven't seen it, go back. Go back to the beginning of the week vlog. Or wait, I guess I should point up here or up here. I don't know how I still don't know that. 53 vlogs later. Go take a look. It's at the very end of the video. Super pumped about today. Thursdays are always good. I sincerely hope that you are having a great week, that you're accomplishing goals, that you're doing what you need to do for yourself, and you're taking care of yourself. All right, let's get to work on this DJ mix. Here we are, Thursday evening, and as you can see behind me, I always have these up when there's a Q&A. Today's Q&A is with HVDES. She's an Icon grad. I've heard her talked about quite a few times. Let me just give you some inside info into what she's accomplished since going to Icon Collective, and then as usual, after the Q&A, I'll pop back on here and I will tell you everything that stood out to me. Supported by electronic and rock staples including Deadmau5, Bring Me the Horizon, Census Fail, Black Tiger Sex Machine, The Bloody Beetroots, Adventure Club, and more. HVDES brings a black-hearted yet thrilling aura to the next generation of electronic music. HVDES has released on labels such as Canniballin, Mousetrap, Brooklyn Fire, and more. She has nailed the electro-driven mid-tempo sound. In 2019, HVDES released her pivotal standalone complex EP and made her Mousetrap debut on We Are Friends Volume 9 with her single Let Me Go. HVDES has toured alongside legendary acts such as the Bloody Beetroots and performed around the world, embarking on her first international tour in China in 2019. Absolutely fantastic Q&A. I really enjoy the Q&As that are a lot more about artist mentality, self-help, mental health, and this one probably takes the cake for the one that I connected with the most. HVDES, a fellow traveler, as I like to say, somebody else who is on the sober path, and I wish you nothing but happiness and success with that because it ain't easy. From an artist perspective, a beautifully spiritual approach to making music, to being in the music industry, and the coolest part about that is you wouldn't guess that from the music that she makes. One thing that she said is that, you know, in society, death is inherently attached to evil, where in mythology, HVDES was actually just assigned the underworld. He actually didn't do anything to get there. So for her, it's not inherently evil. It's that there's always darkness, and it's what we do with that darkness that defines us. It's not exactly what she said. I'm pretty sure that's a quote from Batman, but the people who I see having success who are rolling through these Q&As, like, all of the answers are the cliche things that we've all said forever. But for whatever reason, as a society, we're taught to like scoff at these sayings and at these like mentalities. It's almost like becoming an adult is like unlearning all the bias and all the ignorance that we picked up along the way from other people who were also in the process of letting that stuff go. A couple of things that stood out to me is she recommended I think it's a work booklet called The Artist Way. You know me, I love picking up these books, I love picking up these suggestions, so I'm definitely gonna grab that workbook. One of the things that stood out to me more so is she said a song is a conversation, in that the call and response of interconnecting melodies and the way that a song is structured, and she used the example of Deadmau5's Strobe. Like, listening to that song is like overhearing an interesting conversation. And I thought that was a really, really interesting analogy. A couple other things she said is that creativity is not a straight line, and that I guarantee you will only fail if you stop trying. And I love that. For her, the biggest thing is authenticity. Creating music that is a representation of her values. And that has enabled her to create across multiple genres and come up with something that is uniquely her. Really amazing Q&A. I could honestly go on and on and on about it, but I'll leave it there with those nuggets. I absolutely loved that Q&A, and I wish you nothing but the best. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, April 30th. We just got to the studio, and basically today is all about our sound recreation assignment using FM synthesis. Today's gonna be a good day. We did the hair. I think it's looking real nice. And all we have left after that is a keys assignment. Just gonna work on this sound recreation FM synthesis assignment, and then lunch, and then jump into keys, and that'll be the day. Welcome back to another episode of Future Friday. Future Friday is my vlog segment where I go over something that stood out for me this week at Icon. We started learning the very basics of live performance within Ableton. The unique thing about Ableton, well, it's in the name, Ableton Live. The live aspect of this DAW is what sets it apart from other DAWs. You can literally not only perform live, you can DJ live as well. This is just meant to kind of give you a breakdown of the possibilities within Ableton Live. And I've actually seen a few DJs use Ableton and a controller live in the club, and I thought it was really, really cool. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do inside of a DAW versus on your DJ decks at the club. Like, the possibilities of how you can manipulate each track inside of a DAW are 10 times what you can do live with turntables and a mixer. So let's break down a few things here. First, as I said before, I am using my controller, the APC40 Mark II. And so the first thing we're going to look at here is how we have it set up. So we have deck A, deck B, and on each of them is an EQ3 and a DJ filter effect. This is basically mimicking your standard club mixer and turntable setup. You got your deck A, you got your faders here, you got your deck B, you got your fader here, and each deck contains its own EQ, the lows, the mids, the highs. With my controller, I have it mapped to control both channels. If I flip over to deck B, I got the control right here. You can see my low, mids, and highs are moving around. Let's talk about some of these effects here and some of the mapping that I did. So you can either press Command M or go over here to the top right and hit that MIDI button. So if you look up here, I got all these different things mapped to my MIDI controller. And so if you look at my EQ3, I have, as I just demonstrated, all three of these knobs programmed to a certain knob on my MIDI controller, and it's as easy as just clicking it and moving the knob on the MIDI controller, and then it automatically maps to it. One thing I wanted to point out though that is extremely important, and let me just back out of MIDI for a sec here. So this one actually, if you go all the way up, it goes +6. Well, you're not going to want that to happen when you're twisting knobs and dials on your MIDI controller, because that is going to clip the song, and that ain't good. That's going to blow out the speakers and gonna sound really, really horrible in the middle of your DJ set. So back to the MIDI mapping here. If you look, deck A, EQ3, gain low. I actually have the max turned to 0 dB instead of 6 dB. That means no matter how far to the right I turn that knob, and on my MIDI controller, the knobs turn forever, it will never, ever, ever go past 0. That's super, super important. All right, so the next important part here, we come up top and take a look at how I have my track. So this is my track Starlight, and I've broken it into all these different sections. You can see all the names that I have chosen. And so in Ableton, you can do some really cool stuff. If you see, for example, the arrow start marker is here, but I have a loop brace set up here. So that means when I'm playing this clip of the song called intro, it will continue to loop. And that can be extremely handy, so you don't have to worry about mixing into or from the last track or the next track. You can get really, really creative with these. I have both breakdowns. I got 2 different drops going on. I just did this tiny little section of the break beat. So I can just loop that and even bring in another song or do a surprise drop somewhere else. The possibilities are endless. And so understanding how to set this up and getting really creative with it is the key for making your DJ performance stand out. So let's do a little mix here, shall we? Just for fun. All right, let's get this drop going. And so I skipped the intro of that song and went straight to the build-up, which has this really, really fun, harder intro drop. And just by looping that fun little breakbeat section, I could get creative with that and drop that heavy bass section in right away. Just the crazy possibilities that you can do DJing inside Ableton Live, the live side of this amazing DAW. This was such a fun thing to learn. Hopefully you found that interesting. All right, that's it for Future Friday today. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, May 1st. Start of a new month. I am stoked. I love the start of a new month because all of my planners, all of my goal setting tools that I'm using all have reflections, and I set new goals for the month, what I want to achieve, what do I want to accomplish, what do I need to work on from last month, what do I want to track that maybe I haven't been doing a good job of. It kind of makes me look at the bigger picture. As you know, the new vlog segment, Sound Design Saturday, is in full swing, but first, we need to congratulate my good friend Jay. He just hit partner on Facebook Gaming. So he's an official Facebook gaming partner, and he mainly streams the game Apex Legends. So if you've heard of that, or you play it, or you've been interested in checking it out, I strongly suggest going and checking out his stream on Facebook. Look him up. His name is Vander. He's just a great dude, and I just want to congratulate him and give him a little plug on the vlog. He has been killing it. As you know, we learned FM synthesis this week. So I'm thinking, since my favorite plugin Dune has an entire FM synthesis section, we'll jump into that synthesizer and basically just do FM synthesis for most of the day. You're gonna see this tomorrow on Sunday, so I hope that you had a really, really good weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Welcome back to another episode of Sound Design Saturday, my new favorite vlog segment. We are sound designing all day on Saturdays. This week at Icon, we learned about FM synthesis, frequency modulated synthesis. And basically what it is stacks of oscillators that when you manipulate the volume and the pitch, aka the octaves, raising and lowering, and a few different things, you get a really, really, really unique sound. A lot of dubstep growls, a lot of unique house sounds come from FM synthesis. So we spent all day in our favorite plugin, Dune 3, working on a complete FM synthesis preset pack. And I'm really stoked on what we turned out here. So let's go over here. All right, here we are in Ableton. Go to my presets, go to my FM Sound Design Saturday, and we made 12 presets today, all using FM synthesis. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Number 1, the bass synth lead topper. Number 2, delicate little pad. Number 3, dubstep growl. That's pretty intense. FM supersaw. Horror techno pluck. And let's hear it as a bass. Even lower. Housey bass. Housey pluck. Little FM bass pluck accent. Number 9, little bass donk. Number 10, screamo dubstep. Sus bass nice. Gotta work on my names here. All right, let's check this one out. And last but not least, weird little lead. So as you can see, very, very unique tones coming out of FM synthesis. I'm super, super happy. 12 different sounds, and I think we got a good grasp on FM synthesis so far. And if you want these presets, shoot me a follow, shoot me a message on Instagram, and I'd be more than happy to send them your way. All right, that is it for Sound Design Saturday today.